TIL. When a hamster egg cell is fertilized with human sperm, a humster is created. I'm pretty sure it isn't possible for humans to produce viable offspring with any other species of animal that exists today. All of our closest relatives, Neanderthals, Denisovan, etc., got extincted and absorbed by modern humans. When Homo sapiens met Neanderthals, they had only diverged as species about 700,000 years ago. But our closest surviving relatives, chimpanzees, diverged from our ancestors about 7 million years ago. Basically, chimps and us are most likely far too biologically different to produce viable offspring together at this point. It sounds wacky, but useful scientifically apparently. Hamsters are usually destroyed before they divide into two cells. Were they left alone to divide, they would still be unviable. 2. Hamsters are routinely created mainly for two reasons. To avoid legal issues with working with pure human embryonic stem cell lines. To assess the viability of human sperm for in vitro fertilization. This is medical and genetics nonsense. Those hybrids do not survive, that is the poppycock round here. The chromosomes carrying the right genes complements to do the metabolic work are not there. Many are left out. Show us a living hamster's human, walking, eating, hybrid? And you cannot. The above is a fantasy. Burden of proof on you, not us. That's called the science of genetics. It's very easy to find the commenters who didn't even bother reading the article. It's the ones who missed the sentences about the fertilized egg being non-viable. It always consists of single cells, and cannot form a multicellular being. Hamsters are usually destroyed before they divide into two cells. Were they left alone to divide, they would still be unviable. There is some really messed up science going on. If you're interested in this, recently researchers made robots from the stem cells of frog eggs. They pretty much cut up the embryo's attached bits together, making an undefined form of life. Apparently this could have some positive applications if you can get over how they're made. I feel like Reddit is the actual type of stupid where I need to post this context. It always consists of single cells, and cannot form a multicellular being. Hamsters are usually destroyed before they divide into two cells. Were they left alone to divide, they would still be unviable. 2. I always thought this type of experimentation with human life was like super fucking illegal. It's a real slippery slope from allowing cultivation to a certain development and one rogue lab deciding to see how far they can take it. That's how we got those secretly gene-edited babies out of China. I have a question which I think is rather important. Did the person who discovered that find out they could fertilize a hamster egg with human sperm while trying to make an hybrid, or did they find out they could create an hybrid while trying to, you know, fertilize a hamster? I feel like this is the plot of a bad horror movie. Like Sharknado levels of bad. I can see it now. The hamster should have been killed in the lab, but it adapted and now nothing can quell its lust for running in large wheels and human blood. Now that's a damn good WTF inducing, browser closing, computer unplugging tifu. X200B. I would love to get an AMA with one of the human sperm donors. Do they know what the hell their jizz is going to be used for? And they still go for it? You know the thing where you start to raise your hand to ask a question, then realize it's better you don't know anymore and you, like, finish the motion by scratching your head or something? That's kind of how this comment has evolved. A hamster is a hybrid cell line made from a hamster oocyte fertilized with human sperm. This is possible due to the unique promiscuity of a hamster ova, which allows it to fuse with non-hamster sperm. Wait, so eggs can be sluts too? In my city there's a coffee place called Humster Coffee. I used to think it was a typo, but now I decided I don't want to know how they came up with a name at all. Edit. Here's a pic for the curious. Hamsters are routinely created mainly for 3 reasons. 1. To avoid legal issues with working with pure human embryonic stem cell lines. 2. To assess the viability of human sperm for in vitro fertilization. 3. Loneliness. It always consists of single cells, and cannot form a multicellular being. Hamsters are usually destroyed before they divide into two cells. Were they left alone to divide, they would still be unviable. Thank goodness for that. So is it an actual hybrid? Is there any difference between this and a normal hamsters? What about other animals? Is this just a loophole to do genetic splicing? So many questions, yet the comments are always full of fucking jokes. Gentlemen, I've made a discovery of monumental proportions, but you may ask me precisely 0 questions about how. Movie called Splice. Look it up. Brave people read a synopsis. People who wish to be disturbed on a fundamental level watch the film. It's not a good movie. But it is supremely fucked up and deals with this precise topic. It's kind of wild that the resulting stem cell is similar enough to do research with, or am I looking at this wrong? Is there something universal about mammal stem cell that it doesn't quite matter which species it's from? Okay, so when I first read this I read a hamster is created rather than a humster is created and I got like, deeply disturbed imagining a human and hamster having a baby which is just a normal hamster. Everyone, I'd like you to meet Carl. This is possible due to the unique promiscuity of a hamster ova, which allows it to fuse with non-hamster sperm. Imagine just being a single egg and people are already calling you a slut. This sounds like some shit Professor Farnsworth would create to win a bet and Doctors Oiberg would fucking eat and find fatty, but with a zesty center and a salty finish. Got any more? Right now there's a bunch of scientists at Monsanto, on a lunch break, at a frickin' Chipotle for all I care. You don't believe they can make watermelons? On the back of human mice? WTF, did anyone realize hamster ova are promiscuous? This is possible due to the unique promiscuity of a hamster ova, which allows it to fuse with non-hamster sperm. I am super disappointed by reading the article and learning that no viable fetus is created. Just one cell. Even if it were to divide, it doesn't turn into a fetus. Scientists actually attempted to grow an embryo from this and actually pulled it off until it could be heard whimpering "kill me please," so they pulled the plug. My medication is made from hamster DNA stuff apparently. Adalimumab for Crohn's. Are they animals that have lots of interchangeable bits with humans? Is that why the hamster we had when I was a kid got babies, even though it never interacted with any other hamster? Father! What have you done, Skull? Usually I jump straight to comments but I needed to prime myself with primary source first. Thank God it wasn't some Full Metal Alchemist fuckery. How the fuck does that even happen? In a lab, right? Please tell me this was forced in the microenvironment and we didn't learn this the hard way. Oh thank goodness! It dies before it even divides once. I thought a hamster was gonna be something like the bad guys in the League of Super Pets. I always thought when humans created furry girls IRL that cat girls would be first. But I guess hamsters won the unfortunate lottery. College Humor did a hamster bit like 12 years ago. It's like 30 seconds in. But the whole 2 minutes video is funny. Why can't our tax dollars go to figuring out how to allow the hamster to divide freely until it's a full-grown little buddy I can play with, to assess the viability of human sperm for in vitro fertilization? So, as someone that did IVF, was there an otter 111 a hamster out there? Dear scientists, please can you just not with this stuff? If Mother Earth needed a human-hamster hybrid she would have made one already. Well, that explains how all pets hamsters are descended from a single female in 1930. And apparently one pet store owner. The Humpty Dance is your chance to do the hump. Oh, to me, baby, come on, do the Humpty Hump. Come on and do the Humpty Hump. This is possible due to the unique promiscuity of a hamster ova. Oh, so we are slut-shaming the rodent reproductive cells now. Shit, it's 4 cells. Scientist slides entire table into incinerator. There, no one will know. Time to start again. Now we know the reason behind the old Eat Quiznos subs ads. Jesus Christ, they were not dead hamsters, they were humsters. A mathematician studies what is, a physicist studies what can be, and a bioengineer studies what should never be. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should. Hey, Bob, what you doing? We're fertilizing hamster eggs. Okay, so are you. With human sperm, that's one way to bypass legal issues with human embryonic stem cell research. But who came up with that idea? I'm imagining that Jimmy Neutron episode where he swapped heads with a hamster. What a horrible reality! One of the most commonly used cell lines in gene expression experiments is the Chinese hamster ovary CHO. That scientists must be really love their hamster to even think to do this abomination experiment. This is possible due to the unique promiscuity of a hamster ova. Damn those promiscuous hamster ova! Things like this are why the religious people of old accused science of being unnatural witchcraft. Isn't the ability to merge with any other organism a trait of the xenomorphs in the Alien series? They also found that hamsters often die after sex. At least the ones in this particular study did. Now that begs the question, what did the human sperm donor smell like? Elderberries, perhaps? Do you think that God stays in heaven because he's scared of his creations down on earth? The hipster a cappella group called the Humsters are probably in shambles after reading this. So the taunt your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries can be true. This post will be responsible for I don't want to know how many instances of bestiality. Holy shit, they call them Humsters. Skull. And they are unviable. So no hamsters waking around. The link claiming the hamster isn't viable is dead. Probably killed by this freak of nature. If you fertilize a goat egg cell with human sperm, you get kicked out of the petting zoo. Is it possible to make a hamster manually with items easily available from the pet store? This explains the hairy homeless guy I saw that slept in a pile of torn up newspapers. And here I've been just shoving these up my ass this whole time. Richard Gere. Read every single comment hoping for a psych, obviously fake but unfortunately none. Anyone else imagining a mutant race of hamsters rising up and overthrowing humans? Am I the only one wondering who discovered this the first time? That poor hamster. And the result is a creature with the looks of a human and the brain of a hamster. A hamster sounds like the name of the act that would lead to creating a hamster. First, so we can make the Monty Python joke. Neat. Second, who the fuck did this? Did you know that hamsters die after having sex? At least the one I fucked did. Can't say I've ever heard of an egg cell being described as promiscuous before. Thank you. Now I can't look at hamsters and satire musicals the same way again. The scientist who discovered this, is his name Shu Tucker and his kids okay? This just reminds me of how people joke that hamsters never die normal deaths. Dog, imagine you a sperm cell and you find out your dad dumped you in a hamster. I need to start popularizing the acronym TYDL today. I wish I didn't learn. Mom and dad finally explained to Op why they don't look like their siblings. Alright, time to have ChatGPT whip up a horror movie script now. Thank you. I honestly didn't think hamsters were real. In today's episode of Sentences I Would Have Died Hacky or Never Reading, one of the first uses for a microwave was to reanimate frozen hamsters. Don't need to know how they figured this out. Enough Reddit for today.